recording. Guys, we're having a really deep conversation about the scales and weight and our results and how people are feeling and how good the girls are feeling. And what I wanted to capture is that this is just not spoken about enough. And I'm going to lead in with a story and take it to the room. I had a client today and I was talking to her about another client's results who had lost 2 dress sizes. So the woman has visibly shrunk. She's visibly smaller and she looks great. But it meant that she had gained 2.5 kilos of strength, better bone density, better muscle density. She was, I'm going to repeat, she had shrunk. She was smaller. She looked better. Her dresses that didn't fit her anymore fit her. But the shock reaction on my client's face, she couldn't hear me say that she was happier and smaller because of the gain on the scales. I'm just going to take this now to Laurie, who has had an amazing 7.2 week result. Laurie, tell us about your relationship with the scales and what you have learned, what you're feeling.
So what I've learned over the last 7 and a bit weeks is that the scales mean very little. I've shrunk 38 centimeters, but the scales have gone down minimally, a couple of kilos. And if I hadn't been doing your program, Christine, I would have given up because I would have been focused on that number on the scale, and I wouldn't have been focused on the way I was feeling in my body and in my clothes. So I'm very grateful that I am with you and that I'm following what you're teaching me.
And I'm so glad that you are doing this and hadn't given up 7 weeks ago, because your results are completely outstanding. You've gone from saying that you weren't eating well, going to feeling amazing with the nutritious food that you're eating and enjoying what you're eating. But above all else, that if previously your efforts meant that you would have given up, even though you were trying so hard, but doing it this way meant that you didn't give up, then that means everything to me. So that's awesome. Well done, Laurie, on that. And Robin, what were you sharing with us about your relationship with the scales and diets of the past?
I was always fixated on a scale, so I just avoided it. If I thought I'd put on weight, I actually then just didn't weigh myself. So I hadn't weighed myself for about 2 years. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm starting your program. I'm going to weigh, but I'm not going to have the emphasis on the scale, because if I'm still shrinking and feeling better and fitter and clothes are looser, yes, I'll do the scale, but that's not the sole focus.
Yeah. How do you feel about that decision, Robin? Because it's so new. How does that make you feel doing it this
Sort
way?
of a bit daunting at first. Just thinking, oh, what happens if the scale? So the first 4 weeks, the scales were dropping. Lost 3.8 kilos in the first 4 weeks. And then the last 2 weeks, it's just stayed the same. So I was like, okay, but my clothes are getting looser. I haven't actually measured since the 4 weeks. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scale's the same. I don't actually know if the centimeters have dropped, hopefully. If the clothes are looser, like some of my t-shirts.
More about that liberation, more about how more liberated you feel to not be counting in numbers and worrying so much about the scale, because you
Yeah,
know
no, it's way better.
way, way better. And Wendy, what are you happy to share? Robin, you've been a superstar. You've done a great job, and I'm sure those results are going to come through in your 8 weeker we're coming up to. So, Wendy, what are you willing to share? Like, we had a very deep conversation a few minutes ago before I started recording. You don't need to tell us everything, but like, what are you willing to share about what this is doing differently and what you can feel that yourself moving through stages and what you're working with, grasping with, counting calories and scales and carbs, and like, tell us whatever you're willing to share with us about how you're feeling really quite new into this.
Well, I think I've been controlled by the diet industry for most of my life. And this is the first time that I'm actually giving myself permission to let it all go, but properly and truly let it all go for myself, for my well-being. And more than that, the scale is not an indication of your worth, and of your health and your well-being. There are so many other measures, and I'm obviously very new, so I don't. It's too soon to even record my progress. But it's more an inner belief in myself so deep that I have to trust myself in my decisions and make sure that I listen to you, because I know where you're coming from and you hear me and you see me and you relate to me.
I do. I do.
That's it.
I only have good hopes for you, and I just can't wait to free you from that worry and concern. It's awesome, and I can see that you're on your way. And every now and then, your thought patterns of the past will just pull you back. But that's okay. I can just see that with the support of the girls here, that I can just see you're going to be able to push through there. And I'm there for you all the time, regardless. Anyway.
And I think also, just speaking to the girls, it's that my fears and their fears, they're all our fears. We're all there together. It's not like you think, oh, you're the crazy one, but you're not. It's the industry that's crazy, not us.
Yeah, it's wrong. It's really wronged us, and I've learnt because of you girls. I thought I was running a program helping others do what I did. I didn't realize I was actually healing a whole stage of women of what we've been through. Because I didn't do it through any of those other methods. So I had to tap into, well, how did I do it? Well, I just did it really logically. And something like keto actually ruined my efforts, and I gained weight from that point. You know what I mean? So it was like, I've kind of learnt the hard way, but yeah, I did it naturally. So that's why.
You know what, you can see it as like a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Except it's you know what I mean? That we've come to halfway through our lives, or most of us, that, wow, this is the real deal.
I think we get to the 40s and we go, how's it going to be? What's it going to be now? How are we going to get past this? And how's life going to get better for me from here on out? Is this it? Is this dieting and this, is this my life now? So, yeah. And Miss Sam, you are doing really well. And I've got your photos. So they look really, really good. And Sam's quite shy. We're not sharing her photos yet. But you can actually just see this continual shrinkage going on, and it's very clear on your most recent photos. So you're about 8 weeks in now?
Yeah, Laurie and I started on the same day.
Oh, there you go. And what does it mean to you to be doing it this way, my way, Christine's way, Fitnotskinny way, whatever you want to call it? What does it mean to you?
Well, I just love the fact that you don't care about scales, because that is such a that's such an emphasis in so many different things. And we were talking about it on Sunday, actually, some of us, that Weight Watchers and places like that, their goal weights aren't realistic. The people who I know who have got to their goal weights look disgusting.
Gaunt.
They're skinny, they're gaunt, they don't look healthy, they don't have a really lovely glow in their skin. All you guys have got such beautiful glows to your skin, and we all look great, whereas the people who sort of have to do this and have to do that and stick to this and stick to that and count calories and won't deviate at all, they don't look healthy. They don't look as though they're enjoying their lives. Whereas with this, we can, and you've shown us that, if we have a blowout and we go and eat all the things, we know what to do.
There's a lot.
I've never eaten more white. Yeah, I've never eaten more white fish in my life.
We can't tell everyone all our secrets. That's an in-house thing, the fish. But it doesn't, like a blowout doesn't define us anymore. A blowout's just a blowout and we just move on.
Yeah.
It's so freeing. It's so good. And Haiti, you're going to nod or shake soon, because I'll see if you feel like adding something in. I'm going to go to Jane next. Jane, you're a bit of a superstar, and you really opened, from our first phone call, you really opened your arms out and said, just give me what you're going to give me. I need your help, and I know that I need to work with you. You really literally came to me saying, I hope you don't mind me sharing, but you said, I know I need to work with you. I need you to do this with me. I need you to do that with me. I want you in my corner. So tell us, I'm happy if you just say whatever, because I know how much it has just changed your perspective on things.
Oh, absolutely, Christine. I mean, when I came in, I think, I was really at my all-time low of how I was feeling. My energy levels were low, I just wasn't even, wanting to see people. I was just feeling so terrible about myself and all the rest. So it's really changed not only the physical part, but my mental well-being in terms of just how I feel about myself. And definitely not where I sort of got still a lot of work to do, but I'm just that food and that nourishment that I'm giving myself finally is as I said, good for my body, but also for my brain, and also for how I feel about myself. Like, I'm actually taking the time to look after myself and train, and even the investment even in your program. Like, I didn't even want to do that at the start because I didn't think I was worthy of that. But now, you know, I just I don't question it. And you know, it's far from perfect at the moment, but yeah, my results haven't changed a lot on the scales in the last couple of weeks, and we sort of chatted about that, but yeah, and even if it hasn't changed in the centimeters as much as I want either, it's just more about, you know, my headspace and also just how I feel. Like, I've just got so much more energy and, you know, just enjoyment in life overall, just from, you know, feeling better in myself, and my body just, I can, yeah, even in my clothes and everything like that, it just, you know, feels so much better. So yeah, it's not just all definitely about the scales, and I, you know, even though I still do, you know, focus on that a bit, you know, it's all about how I feel in myself at the moment. So you know, that's priceless, really, that change.
True. And one other huge priceless difference for you has been that you asked me to help your son. And I said to you, don't worry about your son. He's a teenager, guys. And I said, he's going to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And what happened, Jane? Like, you were, like, once you're done with me, Christine, can you please to help my son? Weren't you? You were very like, and I said, don't worry about it. Like, I was like, sure, I could have said, oh, yes, I'll do you. I'll do your son. I'll do, you know. But no, I said, no, don't you worry. Just wait.
No, he's
What's
pretty
going to
much
happen?
gone onto the same, and it's really nice. Even now, he's waiting for me. He wants to take the dog for a walk. He said, oh, can you come too? And we'll go back out and train a little bit later after that. So yeah, he's 14, and you know, his focus now is, you know, looking after himself as well, and you know, eating, just making better choices. And you know, he even just asked me in the kitchen before, when we were when you guys, I had you on mute for a second, he said, oh, how many grams of protein do I need to have? As he had his protein shake after, because he was hungry after dinner, and he'd had a big, you know, chicken pasta meal, but he was still hungry. So he just, you know, helped himself to that. So yeah, it's definitely, you know, transforming him as well. So and he feels better. Yeah. So I know it's amazing. And like you said, just learning from me as well, and seeing what I'm doing. And yeah, he's eating so well, as opposed to, you know, things that he, you know, shouldn't be eating at this time of night. He's, you know, chosen a protein shake with berries, and you know, off he's gone and wants to go for a walk now.
Amazing. And you were really not, you know, you're like, I don't, you're wanted him to get a lot healthier, so that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's good. I think we'll, if Haiti wants to add anything, let me know, Haiti. You just jumped in at the last second. Did you have anything to add?
Well, I'll tell you, when I was on Weight Watchers for so many years, like on and off, I lost weight, and I just became so obsessed with every time I'd go and weigh myself, even if I'd done all the right things, I wouldn't lose weight, and I'd be so upset when I came home after weighing. But now I don't even, I mean, I remember when Robin was weighing herself like every day, some other weight loss program she was doing. And she's shaking her head, so she did. But I don't weigh myself. Like, I'll maybe weigh myself.
You weigh every day.
You know, once
what's
every
the plus side?
Now.
What's the plus side? I mean, it's one thing not to weigh yourself, but what's the plus side of that? You'd said to me you've never stuck to an exercise program like this before.
No, I've been doing. I haven't done my exercise today, so as soon as I get off tonight, I'm gonna go and do something. And last night I was, I sent Christine a message.
She sent me a message.
I haven't done my my workout, which was my abs, which I'd rescheduled from the weekend to Sunday to yesterday. And I thought, I was so tired, I already had a shower, and I thought, I'm going to message Christine, ask her what to do, because the kids have been driving me nuts. I had to stay home with Liam on the weekend because he had to isolate and wait for a test result, and I just decided at, what time was it, Christine? 9:30. Yeah. Before you got back to me, I said to myself, that's it. I'm going to go get on my PJs, and I'm going to go put on my workout clothes, and I'm going to get on the bike for 10 minutes to warm up. And then I did my whole ab workout.
Yes.
I didn't even make her feel bad.
Do 20 minutes like you told me to. I did the whole thing.
Yay. Because I said just set the clock for 20 minutes and just get it done.
No, I did the whole thing.
20 minutes is a great trick. Yeah, that's awesome.